Hello guys, how are you there? I hope you are fine. The topic that I'm going to discuss with you today is about 30 things that you need to know before deciding to come to Canada. Now, I am not sure if I have enough time today, but as much as I can give you, I think 10 as of today, and the 20 will follow tomorrow. So the reason why that I think of discussing with you about these things that you need to know before you decide to come to Canada, guys, is because maraming nagtatanong sa akin, guys, kung is it worth to give up our career, our friends, our relatives, our properties? Is it really worth to give up our whatever we used to do in the Philippines for the past years in our lives? Is it worth to give up all those and come to a country where you don't know the culture, you don't have relatives at all, and most especially you have to start your life all over again. You have to start your career. The first that you should know is Canada. Canada is a huge country. It is second to Russia. Second by total area. The total area in Canada is 9.98 million square kilometers. And the population is only 38 millions. So if you compare to Philippines is only about 300,000 square kilometers. And the population of Philippines is about 110 million. Whereas in Canada, the total area is 9.98 million square kilometers and the population is 38 millions. So you can just imagine, you can just compare how big Canada is. Canada is a country in North America. If you look at the geographical location, ang north ng Canada is the Arctic Ocean. Ang west niya is the Pacific Ocean, which is the Vancouver or British Columbia side, and then the east side is the Atlantic Ocean, which is the Toronto, Quebec side. And then yung south niya, guys, is United States of America. Magkadikit lang ang Canada at United States of America, guys, kung mapansin nyo sa ibang mga vlogs or sa isang vlog na pinakita ko sa inyo dati, yung boundary ng Canada at USA is just parang linya. Mayroon lang siyang linya, guys, na nag-divide ng USA at saka Canada. Canada is composed of 10 provinces and 3 territories. The provinces are British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Those are the 10 provinces, and the 3 territories are Yukon Territory, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. So isipin niyo na lang, guys, you can travel by train from west to east or from east to west. So one time, nung nag-citizen na kami, nag-travel kami from our province, which is Alberta, going to Toronto. And it took us 2.5 days by train. So you can travel really from coast to coast. If you have a car or you can take the train, you can travel by land kasi buo siya, hindi siya katulad ng Philippines na it's divided by archipelago or different islands, whereas in Canada is a solid siya, guys, hindi siya yung divided by islands or waters. The second thing that you need to know about Canada, guys, is the currency. Ano ang currency natin dito? It's Canadian dollars. So if you're asking how much is, if we convert it to Philippine money, it's about 40 pesos in 1 Canadian dollar. So kung meron kang $100 Canadian dollars dito, ang equivalent sa Philippines is 4,000 pesos. So that's currency Canadian dollars. The third thing that you need to know about Canada is the weather. There are 4. So in Canada, guys, there are 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Yung spring, magsimula siya sa March and mag-end siya ng June. Tapos yung summer, magsimula sa June and mag-end sa September. And then ang fall, magsimula sa September and mag-end siya in December. And then ang winter, magsimula sa December and mag-end siya in March. So dito sa Canada guys, kailangan mo ng iba-ibang klaseng damit. May damit pang summer, may damit pang winter, pang fall, pang spring. Pero yung spring at saka fall, pare-pareho lang siya. Pero yung summer talaga is totally different. Kasi palagi ka naka-sleeveless, naka-shorts. In fact, dito pag summer, ang daming maglalakad na parang naka-bra lang. Parang ganun. Tapos naka-shorts na napaka-iksi. Ganun dito. Or minsan sa park, mayroong tawag dito tan, nagpatan sa araw, expose sa araw na nag-bikini lang or nag-two-piece lang pag summer. Pero pag winter naman, grabe, 3 or 4 na layers of cloth na i-wear sa mga tao kasi napakalamig guys. So yun. Tsaka sa shoes naman, iba-iba din. Meron kang shoes pang summer, may fall, pang winter, at tsaka spring. Kasi yung spring guys, medyo basa siya. So you have to wear boots. Boots na hindi mababasa. Pag winter naman, kailangan mong makapal na boots na may parang feather sa ilalim na nagwa-warm sa paa mo. Tsaka sa summer naman, parating naka-sneakers, naka-slippers, ganyan. So, iba-iba. Marami kang kailangan na iba-ibang klaseng damit at iba-ibang klaseng shoes or yung pang sa paa mo. Guys, ang ginagawa ko dito, pag summer na, itabi ko na naman yung mga damit ko from winter. So, ilagay sa storage, ilagay sa parang lagayan, storage, ilagay sa basement or sa storage area para babalikan ko na naman yan 6 months after. Tapos, pag winter, ayun, ilalabas ko na naman yung pang winter stuff, yung pang summer naman yung itabi ko. Ganon dito sa Canada. So, the fourth that you need to know is, Canada is a multicultural country. So, ang ibig sabihin niya guys, iba-ibang lahi ang nandito. May mga Asian, may mga European, may mga Latin Americans, ang dami. The fifth thing that you need to know is language. There are 2 official languages in Canada, English and French. So, kung mapapansin nyo guys, when you come to Canada, makikita nyo yung mga products, even if they are made from China or made from Philippines or made from Singapore or wherever it is made up of, pagdating dito sa store, meron na talaga siyang label na both English and French. It is a requirement here. The next thing that you need to know in Canada is salary. Yung salary dito guys is per hour basis. So, kung ilang oras kang nagtatrabaho, yan din ang bayad mo. Tapos, yung minimum dito guys, I will create another video or separate video about discussing the salary here. But basically, ang salary dito is per hour. It's not per day, unlike in the Philippines na ang Philippines per day yung bayad mo. Dito, it's per hour. Kung ilang oras ka nagtatrabaho, yan ang ibayad sa inyo. The seventh thing that you need to know in Canada is jobs. So, in Canada guys, you are allowed as many jobs as you can handle. So, dati nung bagong dating kami, 2, 3 jobs ang gagawin namin in a week. So, mag-work ako ng Monday to Friday sa full-time ko. Tapos, gabi, like 3 times a week, Monday to Friday, meron akong part-time na isang call center. Tapos, sa weekend, Saturday and Sunday, meron namang another part-time job. So, yes guys, ganun dito sa Canada. You can have as many jobs as you can handle. So, yun. Kung gusto mo makaipon ng mabilis at wala ka namang anak na inalagaan, then you can have 3, 4 jobs. Diba? Why not? Hindi naman bawal yan dito. The next thing that you need to know in Canada is the price of houses. The price of house in Alberta, where we are in here, is between 300,000 to 450. Yun yung average dito guys. Yung mga 300,000, those are mga old houses, mga 1950s to mga 1980s, 1990s, but 1990s up, medyo mahal-mahal na siya. Of course, depende pa rin sa style, Pero yun, pwede kang makabili ng bahay na ganun. So, kung 300,000, 12 million pesos na yun. So, kung madaling kumita ng pera, guys, mahal din ang babayaran mo dito, lalo na sa house. Ang house is the major expense of a family expense, monthly expense. Medyo mahal talaga yung bahay dito. The ninth thing that you need to know here in Canada is credit. Dito sa Canada, kinakailangan na may credit card ka, guys. Bakit? Kasi hindi ka pwedeng makautang ng bahay or makautang ng car kung wala kang credit history. So, kailangan mo ng credit card. The moment you arrive in Canada, one of the first things that you need to know is to go to a bank and apply for a credit card. May mga banks, guys, na nag-offer dito na pwede kang kumuha ng credit card na worth 500 or 1,000 credit limit. Bigyan ka kaagad. Kasi kailangan nga yan. May iba ditong dumating, no, I don't want to use credit card. Hindi. If you are planning to buy a house or buy a car, of course, you cannot buy cash, right? Kasi mahal eh. So, you have to apply for a loan sa bahay at saka sa sasakyan. Hindi ka ma-approve kung wala kang credit card. Kaya kailangan talaga may credit card ka, guys, dito sa Canada. Kasi kung may credit card ka, makikita doon sa history mo, credit history mo, na magaling kang magbayad ng utang mo, magaling kang magbayad kumbaga, marunong kang magbayad sa utang mo buwan-buwan. So, doon makikita, meron kasing credit history dito, guys. Unlike sa Philippines, wala tayong credit history, di ba? Dito sa Canada, credit history is very important. The next thing, the 10th that you need to know in Canada is ID or identification. So, here in Canada, guys, pagdating mo dito, kailangan kang pumunta sa Service Canada para kumuha ka ng social insurance number. Pipicturan ka doon, tapos bigyan ka ng number. Yung social insurance number na yan, yun yung gagamitin mo pag mag-apply ka ng trabaho. Kasi doon papasok kung sinong employer mo, magkanong sahod mo, doon sa social insurance number. At saka kung mag-apply ka ng loan, guys, or magpunta ka ng bank, hihingian ka rin ng social insurance number. So, hindi ka makalusot. Kailangan mo siyang ibigay. Kasi kailangan yan sa employer, sa banks, at saka sa mga loan applications mo. Mga mortgage application or mag-utang ka kung ano-ano, credit card or whatever. Kailangan yung social insurance number na yan. Of course, the employer, that's very important. So, as far as ID is concerned, you can also get an ID if you have no driver's license yet. So, in order to get an ID, you just have to present your passport, COPR, birth certificate, if I remember it right. So, those are the requirements to get an ID. However, if you have a driver's license, so that is also a piece of ID. But the driver's license requires a process. So, you have to take the exams, the computer exam, in order to get an ID, but you have to review first before you passing the driver's exams, right? So it takes time. So if you don't have that yet, like for example, in the case of my son, my youngest son, he was I think 8 or 10 years old, but he needs to have an ID because he cannot get a passport without an ID. So what we did is we just go to our registry and get an ID because he cannot take the driver's exams yet at the age of 10. So that's why we did that as his ID in order to get a passport, Canadian passport. Another piece of ID in Alberta is a health card ID. The health card ID is, it has a name, your date of birth, and it has a health card number. So that is also one of an ID in Alberta. So guys, bakit kailangan yung ID? Dito kasi sa Canada, halos lang mga tao dito, mga immigrants, di ba? Galing sa iba-ibang bansa. And mostly, wala silang family dito. Minsan nag-iisa lang yung mga international student. So, walang family, walang father, walang cousins or somebody else. So, kailangan talagang may ID ka kasi paano ka ma-identify na wala mang nakakaalam sa iyo, 'di ba? Kung sino ka. Knock on the wood, God forbid, kung madisgrasya ang tao, walang identification kung walang ID na dinadala. So, especially, magdala dapat ng health card ID. Kasi yung health card ID, nandoon yung health card number mo. So, pagdating sa hospital, makikita doon yung history mo. May allergy ba itong tao to? Or may health allergy ng antibiotic, for example, or kung ano-anong pre-existing condition ng taong to, makikita doon using your health card ID. So, that's most important. That's very important. In my next video, guys, there are still 20 things that you need to know in Canada. So, stay tuned and thank you for watching, guys, and God bless. Bye!